Yeah, hi folks. Yes, that vile, unhinged thug Tipo Rukawakawa is at it again. He has abused Lee Williams and caused trouble for Julian Batchelor, and about a week ago he attacked Liz Gunn. Now, John Ansell and I started covering that attack on one of those waste of time, free 40-minute Zooms, which in reality turned out to be less than 20 minutes by the time you get set up. Anyway, we soon ran out of time, so I'll start off today with what we did cover, and then I'll continue on my own. Now folks, the audio in this Zoom came from an Android video in which I could only record the sound. Yeah, now folks, today I'm joined by John Ansell, the infamous John Ansell. How are you today, John?
Well, I suppose I'm infamous, Terry. I've never quite understood why I'm infamous in this cowardly country just for telling the truth.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're going to do some of that today, aren't we? We're going to do some truth telling.
Yeah, I hope so. Now, John, I'm just going to play that audio by Tipo Rukawakawa, and I'll get you to tell me where to stop, as you wish, and unpack it for everyone.
I'm going to wait for a couple motherfuckers to join. Stop. I mean, this is what we're going to be talking about. This is tribalism, folks. What you're going to hear today is the voice of tribalism. This is what's coming. And he starts with the good old ghetto language, you know. So carry on, Terry, you'll get the drift. But anyway, how is everybody? Yesterday, this is what I seen what happened out here with the police. I guess that was me just warming up, getting ready for this mission up to Waitangi. For those that don't know what's going on, there's certain things I can't speak of, but certain things I can. If you want. Yeah. So he's on some sort of trek up north. He's impressing his mates. And the way that he impresses his mates today is to bash a woman. But we'll get to that. More details, send me a message. I'll hook you up into our iRoam 2.0 group chat. As the karanga was sent down from up our home away from home, the far north. You know, our lot, we love it up there. There's a lot of fucking hearty tangata whenua up there. And we fully support the kaupapa of these noho whenua, not one more acre. Something I am going to go into while I wait for my... Do
you want me to stop there?
Yeah, this is the bit now that he's getting to. Motherfuckers to join, because this is about what we're doing on our mission. But it's doing my head in. I'm watching Liz Gunn. And Liz Gunn, you get this? Yeah, I hope you get it. You need to cut your bullshit. Hard out. You talk so much shit. You're misleading. You're wasting energy. You're wasting other people's energy. You haven't got no real solution to liberate these Kiwis. And trying to say we're one nation, one people, all this shit. Fuck off, we are, bitch. No way. No way. Telling us... It's a good place to stop. This is the way the feral Maori treat women. And I'm not mincing any words anymore. I've had this for 18 years. And these people, they do it with lies, and they do it with abuse. They do it with intimidation. It's not going to intimidate Liz, I can tell you. I can tell you. And another woman, a wonderful woman, Samantha, who he goes and rips into later. It doesn't work with them. They spot these guys for the little bully babies that they are. And that's what we've got to do in this country. We've got to recognise these thugs as little bully babies. You know, they couldn't stand up one-on-one unless they were much bigger or the guy was older, like me. You know, he's just a little coward. And you watch, you let him go for a bit.
To, you know, stop, like, committing all these things to Māori stuff and that, mate, and trying to go, we can all be one and just, like, look up, like, yeah, I get all that unity talk and that, but, mate, there's so much shit, you know, this Kiwi talk and that, and you talk about, you know, you're Scandinavian. You know, why are you trying to come over here and act like you have some sort of sovereign right over here? Fuck.
We'll have a little rest there. This is the way they talk. You know, they'll say, oh, you're from overseas, so go home. They tell me to go home. I say, I don't want to go back to Ellerslie. I left when I was 2. I could see the traffic problems coming, and, you know, I don't want to go back, or Scandinavia or anywhere else. They just assume they run the place, and they're getting handed the place by weak white people, disproportionately female ones, the ones running education, just handing over the country and fawning all over everything Maori. But Liz is not one of those. Liz is not one of those women. Anyway, let's see him carry on.
Get out of here with that, girl. You got no sovereign right. You're trying to fight for politics. You're trying to create this political party, loyal New Zealand fucking whatever, Kiwis for Kiwi stuff. Like, why don't you, like, get your Kiwis and go back to Kiwi land? Like, this ain't.
Stop. Where is Kiwi land, Tepo? Where do you think that might be? What's the word Kiwi? Which language does that come from, I wonder? Is it Scandinavian? Might be Norse or something. Is it Danish? Yeah, I mean, it's completely mad. Yeah. They're mad, they're bad, and they're rude at the bottom end of this gene pool, you know. There's many, I always have to say, we always have to say, don't we? We know lots of nice Maori, of course we do. This is the bottom end of the gene pool. You can tell by the way he talks, and he wants to run the whole show. He thinks he's in charge. Go back to Kiwi land. Okay, carry on.
Kiwi land, mate. Whenever you get these guys to enroll and get enrolled to vote and all this sort of shit, all you're doing is directing them into that fucking globalist agenda that you're speaking out against. I feel like you're paid opposition. You're fucking paid as, mate. Why, if you know all this stuff, about how the UN and how the World Economic Forum and World Health Organization control and own the 1986 government, why would you try to register a party to them? You know what regis means?
Yeah, John, what is he talking about there?
Well, what he's talking about, he might have a point. And I think Liz might actually be prepared to talk about that. I think he's coming from common law, which is quite a movement worldwide. He touts himself as quite an expert. I've seen him actually go at the police. He does it quite well, using this common law stuff. But to assume that Liz is paid opposition and not in favour of investigating every single way you can find to oppose the World Economic Forum and the World Health Organization, which is what she's all about, I mean, is just another example of the madness. But we do have something in common. The Maori guys like him quite rightly feel aggrieved at the government for what they've done with the vaccines. And he has that in common with Liz and me and perhaps you. And so we can come together on that. But to abuse her for actually founding the only party that can reasonably change all that is mad. Carry on.
You know, you're not dumb. I heard you talking about strawmen and living beings and that. Why would you get these people to register or regis to your group that is registered to them? That means they own you. Why are you trying to do that? When these people are on the right track, they know where the liberation is. It's this fucking flag here. This one here.
Stop. He's holding up the Independence flag 1835 or 1834. There's a whole movement to pretend that that Declaration of Independence, they call it He Wakaputanga, has some validity and is the way out of all our problems. They do that without actually reading the document. They pretend that it's for all New Zealanders. Everything in that document says it's all for the chiefs. The declaration was not consummated. They pledged to meet at Waitangi every autumn to make laws. They went on making wars against each other. There's a woman called Antoinette James who pretends and tells lies on behalf of a bogus Maori government of Aotearoa New Tireni. And she will say that New Tireni meant new territory in French. Now, any woman called Antoinette ought to know that new territory in French is Nouveau Territoire. But she carries on pretending anyway. And of course, they insert Aotearoa into it, knowing full well that Aotearoa was not around as a word for the whole country in 1835. That doesn't bother them, they just lie. New tyranny is actually quite apt, as in new tyranny in the English, I would think. But this is at root, this flag is supposed to be the magic solution. And they will pretend that government, which was set up by James Busby as a sort of a way to keep out the French, the chiefs barely knew about it. He got a few to sign, and over 4 years he only got 52, and they were all north of Thames, apart from a visitor from Hawke's Bay and the guy that eventually became the Maori king from just south of Thames, the Waikato area. Another interesting thing to say about that is that there's all sorts of people making up stuff, and they're not all Maori. There's a guy that would have you believe that when in that declaration it said that the northern tribes invite the southern tribes to set aside their animosity and join with us in this new nation, that referred to the nations of the Northern Hemisphere. Why? Because according to this preposterous idea, all the maps in that time were upside down, with Antarctica at the top and that. Well, how nonsense is that? There were some counterfactual maps, there always have been, where people pretend that the south was the north, but to suggest that it was the norm, and even if that were true, to suggest that James Busby meant the nations of the Northern Hemisphere when he clearly meant the tribes of the Southern Island, is just an example of the sort of lying, industrial grade lying that we have to put up with these people. So moving right along.
On my portai here, see that? That's the only sovereign jurisdiction in this country. Not that New Zealand flag. Stop pushing that Kiwi shit. And no, we aren't all one people, one nation, all that shit. No way. No way. Diversity is good. I'm a proud Pākehā. I descend from a rangatira.
Yeah, now he's a proud Pākehā. It's beyond me,
They signed Te and he was European. He signed as a rangatira. He earned his way in. I'm a proud Pākehā.
John, we're out of time. Now continue on from where he says, I'm a proud Pākehā.
I'm a proud Pākehā. I descend from a rangatira that signed Te Tiriti, and he was European. He signed as a rangatira. He earned his way in. I'm a proud Pākehā. But I am proud tangata whenua. I am 100% tangata whenua.
So 1 minute he's a proud Pākehā, and then the next he's 100% tangata whenua, a proud Indigenous Maori.
And we all need to know that. If you're here and of these lands, from these lands, I don't give a fuck, you Chinese, whatever.
He doesn't mean that.
Whoever the fuck your grandparents were. We are all tangata whenua. We need to push that and drop that Kiwi shit, drop that New Zealand shit, because that New Zealand stuff is the stuff that keeps you trapped and enslaved. So Liz, We talked earlier in the occupation in there. I don't think you like my stance, and I'm a hearty activist or whatever it is I talk about. I don't know.
So he admits he doesn't know what he's talking about.
You know, you've only just walked into the space of common law in that. You're only just learning this stuff. And then to speak on it and then trying to say, forget you Marys, like let's all just get together and embrace the European culture. Motherfucker, it was your culture that come here and colonized us and displaced us and stole our lands. And like the Crown lawyer said, and the lawyer for Crown Relations, Te Arawhiti, said, the bill you have, and stop trying to push it on to the king, because it was you and your lot that wrote off the backs of my ancestors.
Wow. So the shoes and the clothing that you're wearing and the house that you're living in and the technology, the video technology that you're using right now came from your ancestors?
Still on our fucking land. Now cut the shit. You want to address this properly? You sit down at the table with us and we sit down and talk with you how we're going to become one as one people moving forward. We tell you. You don't tell us.
We tell you. You don't tell us. Now he said that just after saying we should sit down together and talk about how we become one.
Okay? And stop tricking all these followers and supporters you've got by trying to get them to register to your stupid party that entraps them to that one world order. The 1986 Government Corporation. They are your masters. And now you need to know how to detach from those clowns. Okay, that's what you need to do. You need to detach from them and recognise this flag.
Now this is the flag he's referring to.
This jurisdiction, and as tangata whenua, that Kiwi shit, just remember when you're a Kiwi or you're a New Zealander, you're a slave to that government who are owned by foreigners. That's the problem. Narawa mai whānau, that's my little rant on Liz. Liz, you're a fucking clown. You got no knowledge of historical shit, and what it means to us is tangata whenua to have these things rectified. Because we need to rectify the shit before we move forward. If you think you can sweep this shit under the carpet and have this swept under the carpet and it's all good, don't worry about what happened, let's just build on what we got now and think us being displaced and losing connection to our culture and that is okay.
Losing connection to our culture. So when he talks about tangata whenua, he's not talking about everyone of this land. He's only talking about his own people.
Okay, fuck no, it's not okay. We're not moving forward. We're not moving forward, Liz. There's too much shit to clean up. And we're not detaching from our culture to embrace your fucking bullshit over there. That stays on those shores. We're on these shores of our tupuna. These are our lands. Belong to us. And it is
our lands belong to us.
Our law. Not your bullshit that you're bringing in, Liz. So sorry, whānau, I've gone off the topic. I'm going to bring it back to Waitangi and our hiding up the north. But I just needed to get that out because Liz, when I watched, I spent like 30 minutes, 40 minutes and I had your fucking people on there. Pissed me off that much. I started talking this kōrero I'm talking now. Usually I talk that unifying shit and how we can build this bridge together. But after watching that, I'm just like, oh, nah, fuck all New Zealanders, fuck all Kiwis.
Yeah, the guy is a dangerous nutter. In fact, I think he's a terrorist. Yeah, now this photo is used as the header for his Facebook page. Now, all serious faces, no smiles there at all. All carrying guns and one gun pointed right at you. And here's Tipo, right in the middle. What does that say to you, folks? Yeah, now folks, I wonder if New Zealand's Security Intelligence Services is looking at this guy. Or does he get a special pass because he belongs to a special protected class? Anyway, folks, I've posted all the relevant links below.